Hey everyone, welcome to Stand and Empower, and in this segment I have my special guest, Melissa Tiscareño. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.
Yes, of course.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, Melissa, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do? What are you passionate about?
Okay. Well, my name is Melissa. I'm a mom of, two little ones. They keep me busy. But what I do, I also am a crisis counselor. So I do work for the suicide crisis line, especially with the Hispanic community. There's not a lot of resources out there for the Spanish community. So I'm one of like four of us in a business, that we work for, that serve the Hispanic community. And it's something I'm really passionate about. Mental health. I've been doing it for over 14 years. Wow, so I worked from hospitals, clinics, yes. So I worked in anything you can think of, like court ordered patients, stuff like that, from that to children to elderly. So I worked it all. So my experience has gotten me, to be where I'm at. And then I also have a little side business, photography. So, and the reason why I do photography is because it's a form of me to kind of like have my own hobby to, because mental health can be really hard, as you know.
Yes, self-care is so important in that field.
Yes, self-care is something that I'm really passionate about as well. I think it's really important to take care of yourself mentally, physically. So I do a lot of that. Photography just keeps me busy. And it's something that I'm also passionate about, so why not do both?
Yeah, that's really neat. Just getting into that photography piece,
yeah.
Right? And what's your most fun, how would I describe this? What's been one of your best memories in creating these moments in photography?
I think my best moments, honestly, has been women in general, because we are so... we're the most critical, we judge ourselves, we don't like the way we look on camera, and I really like to empower women to, be confident, to find that confidence, even though, even myself, it's hard, to take pictures and be like, I don't know if I like that picture. So it's hard. And so, I like to take all those, anxiousness, nervousness that, families come with, because you're trying to get your kids ready and the moms are just kind of overwhelmed. I get it. And so when you get there, I like to just kind of chit chat, get to know you guys, bring out the best of you so that way you feel good in your pictures. And so I think that's the most empowering thing I've done that I really enjoy. Yeah. Is seeing the women look at the pictures and be like, oh my gosh, you made me look so good. No, that was you. You were comfortable. So if you're comfortable, you look good on camera.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Especially with, you're right, taking pictures, it's always is my hair okay?
Yeah.
Is my shirt okay? All of those things. How do I look? Let's retake. And we might do it 5-10 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And it's hard because as a mom, you're just you guys better smile for the camera, okay? I paid for this. You guys need to smile. So I get it. Moms are just overwhelmed, and then dads are just there. So I get it. Yeah,
I remember the last family pictures we took. That was it was fun looking back, right?
Yeah.
I can laugh about it right now.
Yeah,
but it was maybe a little bit stressful.
Yes,
but it worked out and they came out beautifully. So.
Yeah, and honestly, it's in my experience. I've been doing it for 5 years now, photography, and so every year I learn things. Every year I get better, and I'm more confident now in bringing the best out of families. So, and I started really low. So Aspire to Inspire, which Lisa knows me when I first started, baby steps. And then now I'm Melissa A Photography, which is you rebrand as you grow within your business. So
no, that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the challenges that you've had, and how have you overcome them?
Like every business, challenges. You're always going to have things that make you second guess yourself. Am I good enough? And then you start comparing yourself to other businesses, any business. You compare yourself to others and you're like, well, it seems like they're making more money, why can I not have that many followers, on social media? Why can I not have 10,000 followers? It's not really about the followers. It's more about the experience you create with people. And so, and I've taken a lot of business courses, and I read a lot of books. I'm a little nerd. And so I think that's where it brought me to where I'm at, is just keep educating yourself. The knowledge is important. because we all need to learn from our mistakes and just grow from them, you know. And so, and I've made mistakes in the past, you know, where I one of the most challenging things is that I did take photos. My camera was like somehow didn't work, and so I ended up losing half the pictures.
Wow.
So on my SD card, and so obviously as a photographer, that's like a huge nightmare. So thankfully, the family was from out of state. They were still here for another 2 days. I reached out to them and told them, I'm going to be honest with you. My camera malfunctioned. I lost half the pictures. I'm so sorry. I apologize. That is my mistake. You know, can I redo your family's pictures tomorrow? Do you have time? So, and they were so nice. They were really nice. They were upset. They were like, well, that's so unfortunate. You know, we actually got our hair done. Like, I get it. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So instead, I wanted to keep the client experience positive. So I told them, like, you know, I'm going to give you extra pictures because of, like, you know, the time that you came and did the pictures and the hair and everything. And so after I was done, the pictures actually came out a lot better. So they were more comfortable because they already knew me. So they were really happy. Good. Overall.
So it was a happy ending.
It was a happy ending. Yeah. It was a happy ending, but there is not always happy endings, you know?
And you know, that's an important point in business, right? When you're conducting business, no matter what the field it is you're reaching out and providing the customer service, rectifying those moments when there are mistakes, because hey, nobody is perfect. We make those mistakes in business.
Yeah.
But it's, how do I make it better, right? And it's also that integrity piece that's important, because then they can reach out to you in the future and know that you're going to be, you know, providing the right service, that you're going to show up, and if there's a mistake, you're going to own it and you're going to move forward from there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I took it as a learning experience, you know, making sure I have extra SD cards. So now you don't see me anywhere without, like, extra SD cards. And I also carry an extra camera.
Do you carry them in the coat? Like,
yes.
Right.
I do. My pockets, my little legging pockets, I carry them. So it's something you always learn from. You know, obviously I was really upset with myself, but I'm also not going to dig myself in a hole. I'm going to come back from it and be like, okay, I need to learn to be better. Yeah. So, and it's something that we all need to grow. You know, every year you grow, you get better.
That's true. That's
and people are understanding, and especially in business. And, you know, customer experience is really important. And so, especially when you're just honest, and that integrity piece is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that part that you said, continuing to educate yourself. No one has ever arrived. And how much you continue to invest in yourself and growing and learning, that's going to impact every area of your life. So
exactly. And especially every area of your life, for sure. You know, especially mental health. You know, it never stops. You know, there's something you can always learn. How can we help people, you know, understand them a little more? So, like, we're never going to fully know to the extent of what someone has been through, but what can we do to get you to that, to be better, you know? Help yourself.
Yeah. Well, who has been your biggest supporter?
My biggest supporter has to be my kids. You know, my kids, the way they look at me, it makes me realize, like, I'm doing something right. You know, it's my biggest motivation. And so, besides my kids, my mom, my parents, you know, really, they've always supported me in anything I've ever done in my life. So, I actually, in college, I was going for nursing. So I didn't like it. And so I went to psychology, and my mom was like, whatever makes you happy, do what makes you happy. You know, it's not about the money. Like, obviously, nursing, medical is a little bit more income, you know, but psychology as well, you know, it can be. And so it takes a little longer, but I'm passionate more about mental health and helping others help themselves. And so that is something I was more passionate about, not really the medical field, even though I love medical. But, you know, I think my parents have just really supported me. I think parents will always be there for you. Yeah. Even though, you know, you clash. So there's some things that you don't agree with. But like in Spanish, it's por tu bien. I'm telling you, por tu bien, like for your well-being.
Common word. I remember that one.
So you know, and you know, my kids. Yeah, every time they look at me, my kids in fitness and photography, in anything, my kids are always, especially my son, he's older. He's like, Mom, did you get first place today in fitness, right? Because it's a competition like at F45 that, you know, I do work out at. but my son is always like, well, how did the pictures go? Can I see the pictures? And so he'll look at them, and I'll share some of them with him. And he's like, those look so good, Mom. And then he'll actually critique me. He's like,
Really?
I think you could have done this. And so, it's nice that he has that eye as well. And he's like, I like to see his perspective as a child.
Yeah, because they're watching.
They're watching.
You're their role model, right? And so they're following your steps. Even when we think they're not listening, they're not looking, they're paying attention. Right?
They are. Yeah. They are paying attention to everything you do. And especially in mental health, like understanding a child's perspective, knowing what they're going through, kind of getting to their level.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really helped me.
Thank you for joining us again
Yes,
in
of
this
course.
segment. It's for Stand and Empower, and Melissa has brought us so much information that will be helpful to you. So go back, rewatch it, take some notes down. This was very, very important. So I'm so glad that you were able to share some of these things. And
Of course.
I do have one final question for you. So how do you stand and empower?
How I stand in power. I am really passionate as well about my Spanish Hispanic community. And I keep saying Spanish Hispanic because there's just so many of us. We can be from all different kinds of countries.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to saying that because of where I work at. But I think that there's not a lot of resources for us. And so I really like to, give back to the community as much as I can. Especially with photography. I do have some clients that, less unfortunate who cannot, times are hard, right?
Yeah.
And so there are some families that cannot afford it. And so they will reach out to me, I'm sorry, I can't really afford this session. Can we do 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I'm like, yes, I'll work with you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if that's all you want for your pictures. I'm pretty flexible as can be with my business. Not all the time, but I do understand my families. I try to understand where they're coming from because times are hard. But it's also really important to have pictures, because pictures are something that you're always going to look back at, or your children or your grandchildren are going to look back at. And I honestly think that's the biggest part of me empowering other people is to give back to your communities. Even though, I have been through many, many things in my life. I came from nothing, from a farm with my parents. And so we didn't have a lot. And so I just kept learning and reading and educating myself. And I was the first generation college student in my family. And I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to where I'm at and then give back to my community.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That's beautiful. And that's the part that makes that biggest impact, right? Just wanting to give back and also that need inside to bless others, reach others.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being here today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions for Melissa and want to know more about what she does, you can go ahead and reach out to her, and her information will be in the link under Melissa A. Photography.
Correct.
Is that correct? I got it right?
Yes. The A stands for Isaiah and Elena, which are my kids. So that's the reason why I don't have a middle name. So,
so again, Melissa A. Photography, and her information will be in the link. Well, we'll see you guys next time at Stand and Power.
Thank you.